Today we're gonna be reviewing another perfectly normal game where I want to lose my mind looking at numbers and a million enemies. I don't have a problem, I swear. I downloaded this game and it was kinda sitting in my desktop for at least 2 months. And I swear I didn't exactly know what I was expecting, but I've been surprised in very good ways. Also, you should watch out if you have epilepsy. Oops, do not watch this. I like that the first thing you see as you open the game is a Mega Man reference-esque intro. That's how you can tell that there are energies in the making of this game. Only evil people reference Mega Man. That's an early sign of evil level design and evil enemies. I will compliment the visual and music style of this game very early. I'll go deeper into it later, but just the whole pixelated SNES vibe is really great. Yes, this is another idle game. No, you can't do anything about it. As I said, the music contains serious bangers. Unexpectedly, this game is akin to Vampire Survivors, and if you don't know that game, it's a combination of Bullethell, Roguelike, and Help me! But in contrast to most Bullethell games, which are shoot 'em ups like Toho or Galaga, they're like top-down perspective, where enemies surround you from all directions and you hope and pray to God that you don't die. Since this recording is my very first experience with the game, the very first time I booted it up, I took my time selecting characters. I saw the selection of idols, I realized that either I didn't know who they were, I barely knew who they were, or I knew who they were extensively because of bad reasons. So I picked the most basic seeming one, the one I know the most about perhaps. The game, like every other roguelite, starts very slow and basic, very easy. You barely get any enemies, no troubles, nothing threatening you at all, so you can get used to the hang of the game before it exponentially increases into utter and unrecognizable chaos. Every time you level up by defeating enemies, you get a selection of upgrades that have different effects that you can choose that will help you have more options to defend yourself against the increasing and near endless waves of enemies. There's probably some OP combination of effects, but me personally, I'm thinking if I'm getting swarmed with a lot of things on screen, I should also be able to send a lot of things on screen. So I usually just pick like a bunch of projectiles and oh, there we go. The game scales up rather quickly. As you can see, only 2 minutes into this match, I'm already being surrounded by all kinds of enemies. Although this drops more experience, which earns you more level ups, which in turn increases the chaos you can bring to them. One of the many things I love about this game is the same thing I love in every other roguelite, and it's that every run feels different and there are so many ways to have so many options to have so much power. And if you're my kind of person, there is a very direct and undeniable fun in you seeing a bunch of numbers go up and down in different colors. I feel like either an extremely TikTok-addled brain rot user or like a baby you're jingling keys in front of, but I just can't resist. When you defeat a mini-boss, which are larger version of the common enemies, you get a Vtuber loot box, because of course you do. To be fair, this type of reward is very common and essentially every game in this style does it. You get different upgrades that may or may not be what you wanted, but it generally makes you stronger. Maybe considerably, if not exponentially so. But like, did you hear the music that played when I opened it? It's that one song that's really popular, but I don't know the name. But of course it fits the aesthetic and the demographic because it's I don't know if it should call it an idol song, or because if it's not, I'm going to sound really ignorant. But it kind of is. Another thing that I love about this game is that I'm not really showcasing it right now the best I could, but it has such endless replayability. I am so serious. Just when I thought selecting a character would simply change their primary fire and their stats a little bit, it turns out that every single character has a different set of abilities, loadouts that they can get, and passives, and more attacks, and it's just like, what? So every character doesn't just change like your basic fire, but also several passive elements and playstyles. It's demented. Why does a free game have this much content? When you reach 10 minutes, a boss will appear out of absolutely nowhere, just slide in casually. I wouldn't necessarily describe this boss as particularly challenging, although there is one later on that is genuinely a bit more mind-breaking. To be fair, this is the first stage, and even then, most of the difficulty comes from being swarmed by enemies. But me, I'm just too good at these types of games. In fact, I'm too good at every game. In fact, I'm too good at everything. I'm not sensing any kind of challenge. The time stop pistol made quick work of it though. And with the levels I get even stronger. So yeah, as I said in the beginning of this play, this gets very chaotic very fast. In the true nature of a roguelite and Bullethell game, the difficulty increases dramatically and you're going to be having to use your brain or instinct or both at a very rapid pace if you want to survive the insane amount of enemies that will come after you. You can also combine the abilities you currently possess into a new, bigger and better ability. I combined this axe and this lava bucket, perhaps some kind of reference to the Vtubers in question, as everything in this game seems to be. It is crafted with a lot of passion. And I got a comet, and I thought the comet would circle around me, but no, it just drops from the sky and nukes everyone with fire. Okay. Ignore the complete hectic nature of the gameplay right now. As I was saying earlier, this game is definitely made especially for Hololive fans and Vtuber idol fans in general. Even though I have no idea of what any of that is like, the game is still extremely enjoyable just based on the sheer gameplay and all the content that it has that I've yet to even get into really. But as content of a fandom for a fandom, that is the fans of a specific thing, this excels because I've seen so many references and things and winks and nudges to things that may or may not have happened that you can only really be in the know if you're into it, and I imagine fans would really like that, but I don't know any of this. After 20 minutes, the second boss appears and it is considerably more difficult. It is in fact me, although probably only because I selected the first character because I am basic and vanilla. And this is probably like the most famous VTuber, asterisk, question mark, I wouldn't really know. After a long and tedious battle against myself in the form of a large cartoon-drawn boss, which by the way the animation work is also excellent, I finally completed the stage. And you've basically been introduced to all of the basic gameplay cycle of this game. And in 99% of cases, this is where I end the review. I say, I compliment or critique the music, the style, the content, the quality of the game itself. But this game has so much more that I just walk with me. First of all, after this match ended, and presumably because I beat the first stage, first try, I unlocked so many new items, passive abilities, weapons, tools. I also unlocked stage 2 of course, but also something called the Holo House, which I didn't yet know what it was, but believe me, it's somehow one of the best aspects of this game. Just from the sheer amount of items and weapons I'm unlocking, you can already see the replayability value and the addiction. Not to mention, if you stop and read the description, there are so many potential playstyles. But before I get into anything further, I was looking for some way to spend all the money I had gained in game, which is how I found out that characters in this game are locked with a gacha, because, of course, deeply Japanese game. I had no idea who any of these people are except for like one or two, and I was looking like Captain America after being thawed from the iceberg, completely confused. I settled on a gacha I would pull from because I'm very partial to the zombie girl with red hair on the middle. I've always thought that design is fire. And this might be the most honest and straightforward gacha ever. I bought 3 pulls and I got all 3 characters that I could have gotten. And no garbage, no nonsense, no like spending real money, just... Well, for a gacha that is just stunning. Shop, of course, allows you to spend your money into upgrading all of your individual stats so you can be even stronger. Yet another aspect commonly seen in roguelikes, allowing you to strengthen yourself outside of matches using the resources you gained in them. There's also gachas for skins, but I presume nobody is interested in them. I certainly am not. There are also single-use upgrades that change the gameplay significantly. I'm telling you, there are layers upon layers. You can get enchantments, you can get stamps that change the stats of the weapons you get during the matches. You will get randomizers. There is a lot here. I decided to explore what the Holo House was, and I found that it wasn't a stage, but a whole mode. And I'm thinking maybe it's like a side thing. So I select my newly obtained idol and I go in and... I see a whole map, I see greenery, I see a home, but most importantly, and the first thing I see, fish. There is fishing in this game. There is also furniture to decorate your house with, like this is The Sims. I thought that's the extent of it. There's a little side mode where you fish and you use money to buy stuff and decorate a little house, and I thought, okay, that'll be it. which, by the way, look at my house setup. I bet you can't do something better than this. It's like a club couch thing. You can also come across other idols that you own in the Holo house, and oh, of course it would have to be you. I channeled all my Stardew Valley hours into fishing, and turns out you fish in this game with a dancing rhythm minigame, which I sucked at first, and then I got okay with because it's a simple rhythm minigame. After getting plenty of fish, I made my way to a local pot that was right nearby, and I found that this game also has cooking, but I don't have the necessary recipes because I'm missing wheat and tomatoes. And does this game also have farming? I explored a little bit more, and I came across another whole facet of the game in which you can hire workers that'll idly get money from you while you're away from the game, and then you can kind of manage them like the Chow from Sonic Adventure. If you're familiar with that, you can feed them, which will cause them to level up and then get more money for longer periods of time. And this game has so many systems and content and things. I explored even further, thinking I need to find the farming because that'll be the extent of it, and then I saw it. A casino! My first instinct: spend all the money on chips and bet it all into blackjack. The most skill-based game there is. And this is the story about how I lost all my money. So back to the main game it was, but not with the intent of beating it. No, now I have grander goals. I need to make money to gamble. The zombie girl's basic fire is a sword slash, which is shorter range compared to the pistol and is obviously melee, but it's quite nice and powerful, and it is satisfying to just slash groups of enemies into nothing from a single blow like a samurai. And you think, once again, simplicity, bare minimum, things that are good that you'd be satisfied with. 7, 8 out of 10. You'd think that's the end of the gimmick, but no. She also has a whole thing about her speed that the more she moves, she builds up energy, and the more energy she builds up, she can unleash devastating ninjutsu. So the game rewards you for going around and dodging enemies, but also maxing out your speed stats and playing around it so you can traverse more distance in lower time and build up more chakra. She also has another mechanic where she's a zombie, so she can avoid death at the cost of losing max HP, but gaining invulnerability for a brief period of time and a lot of damage boost. So this character is just gas all around. I can't imagine what playing as other characters must be like, but if they're all as fun, as creative, and as intriguing and powerful as this one, then we're all in good hands. The ultimate spell you can get from this specific ability is a lightning strike that decimates everyone on screen and stuns whoever dares even survive. This character is just fun all around. This game is just fun all around. I need to get coins though, because I need to get back to the gambling. This game definitely has a power fantasy, and it manages it excellently. I love clearing enemies from every single direction of the screen. By the end of the stage, things get extremely chaotic as you're being chased by a group of enemies that I think are supposed to represent idol fans. I don't know how you'll feel about it personally if you identify as one of them. I, however, used everything in my arsenal to hold them back, or at least stall for the 20-minute mark when I knew the boss of this level would appear. I, however, did not expect the boss to be such an incremental jump in difficulty, and wait a second, is this just a Toho boss? I feel that this is just a Toho boss. I'm getting the increasing feeling as I'm being hit by bullets in every part of the screen that I can't even see because there's so much going on. This might be a Toho boss. The difficulty increased so much, I went from full health to immediately popping my undead ability to revive, and even then still struggling to dodge around all the projectiles. After nearly 2 minutes of fighting though, I got an ability that allowed me to freeze the enemies, making it significantly easier. I survived so long, so it's only fair that I get my time for revenge. But even when frozen, she doesn't stop moving and firing projectiles, so it's not like it got that much easier. So I had to use sheer skill, tenacity, and ability to finally claim my victory over this woman who I don't really know who this is or what this is referencing other than being an obvious Toho gig. As always, I unlocked a bunch of new stuff as soon as I beat the stage, but we all know what my priority here is. On my way to gambling, I got distracted, however, because this game also has a woodcutting and mining minigame, because you can get wood, rock, and materials and tougher wood with which to craft items to sell to get more money, and oh my god, how many mechanics and content does this game have. You even craft the items yourself. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. There's a minigame for every single form of everything to be found in a game. Then I got myself distracted again because on the way to the casino, I found a platforming minigame that I thought, oh, it's gonna be like a Mario Brothers thing. No, it's like a Tower of Hell demonic thing where you try to climb up and you always keep going down like freaking crapping, getting over it, but instead of being with Bennett Foddy, it's with a bunch of idols. The challenge, as always, with these types of games is that you have very restricted and unspecific movement that you have to calculate. And I don't even know why they put this here or what this has to do with idols. They just decided to add as much as they could onto a single game. I have to respect it, but I hate it. I spent so long and didn't even get to 5%. Alright, finally back to the gambling, baby. You can see top right, I have 50 chips, so you know how much I'm gonna win. Okay, that was just a fluke, that was just a fluke. Okay, I lost 2 times in a row. What are the chances that I lose this time? We have 20 chips, that means this is the semi-final pull I can do before I'm all out of money. This is my last try. I'm gonna run out of money, no! I told you, man, gambling isn't luck, it's pure skill. That's how I got this jackpot at the very last try, because I always win. Then I found that there's another whole system where you can train your pets, workers, indentured servants, so they get speed and stamina to participate in races, even more Sonic-like. It took me a while to learn that you had to tap the screen to give your worker a little bit of stamina, so my worker, always ended up getting tired and right before the race finished, getting beaten by someone else. Don't worry though, I got that get back. Then I found that there is a whole other system where your workers fight other workers and you can command them what to do in real time, if they should be offensive, defensive, or if they should grab items that appear. And why? Sure. Alright, you've seen with me the insane amount of things this game has, sheer content on every single side, and I have to say, it is all of good quality. I cannot recommend this game enough, and there is earnestly no reason for you not to try it, because as with everything I cover, this is purely free, which makes it even more surprising how much content they crammed into such a small package. There is something for basically everyone here, and more than enough reasons for anyone to get addicted, although I don't get addicted. I just develop skills that will get me generational wealth from the casino. Genuinely though, a super awesome game that nab it, try it. I don't care if you don't care about idols, you care about games in some manner. You want farming, you want fishing, you want gambling, you want platforming. This game has something. It gotta have something. And I needed to recruit people because I can't be the only one playing crazy Vtuber games without being some kind of weeb. People look at me weird on the streets these days, man. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. I never found out where exactly the farming is, so if you know that, please inform me. I need to know, because one of my worker only eats like potatoes and I can't get any potatoes from fishing, so I also want to try the cooking. I'm sure there's a minigame there, and oh my god, this game has so much stuff. Just go my child, be free.